Hi, this is a video on how to do a gate. This is an 18-foot wide gate for a property here in Houston, Texas. My name's Mark Hutchins. This is the first half of the gate. It's just going to be a standard picket with about 25 or I think 28 pickets that go up straight on the frame that I built for it. It's going to be a double swing gate, and this is just the beginning of it. I built this side of it over the last, I'm taking my time on this project, but as you can see, I used square steel. This is 1.5 inches, and the pickets are made out of 1.5 inch steel. They're welded in, just tack welded in, with a 7-inch extension on the ends. I'm going to show you on the next piece how I did this piece. Came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. And I wanted, because there's nothing out there that shows step by step how this goes, I wanted to show you how you can go through and build your own gate if you're feeling the inclination to do your own. It's quite a bit of work, but materials wise I think I spent about $500 total. Bought the steel at S Steel here in Houston, and just, you know, I've got a MIG welder. I'm just welding the parts together and cutting them on a small cutter. You want to pan over to the cutter. I apologize for the messy shop, but that's just the way things are around this place. I start the process by starting with one piece. I want to make sure that this thing is lined up. As you can see, my pieces are not the metal that I got was scrap, so it's 1/2 inch. I got them really cheap, $3 a stick, so 20-foot stick. So got a good deal on them, but they're not exactly straight. So I have to make sure that they're exactly right as I do the first one. And I even use my, I measure to make sure that it's straight on this piece of steel, and then I'm going to use this to reference across the entire piece and make my marks so that I can make a 4-inch spacing across the piece, make sure that I can line it up as I go across. Okay. You can see that I laid this piece straight after I welded this one, tacked it down. It's really critical that this piece be exactly a little bit over 4 inches spacing between this, and that's because I'm going to use these bracings here in a little while. I'll show you that in a minute. It's a jig that I was inspired by another video that I watched on YouTube. It's real critical that these measurements on each one of these pieces be exactly the same. Okay, and that's the reason that this had to be critical. This measurement's critical because from this point on, this piece right here is the part that's going to reference all the rest of the pieces on the this is the alignment piece right here. Okay, just going through this, I set up, as you can see, a bunch of clamps. They're just miscellaneous clamps I had around the shop. They're probably not all the type I should be using because some of them are for wood. But basically I'm trying to line them up on the bottom so that each one of them is on the line that I marked. As you can see, it's very important that each one is on the line and that it's as straight as possible, that the pieces are straight as possible. But let me back off here. You can see that these pieces are flying all over the place. They're not straight at all. They're just in basically random order. That's because they're they're not straight at all. The idea is to tack them on the bottom, and then I'm going to use these jigs that are right here to align them. They've got 4-inch spacing that have been slotted, and that way I can use them to keep everything in alignment and tack down, so I can tack it again later. That way everything is in alignment and everything's straight as I put them up. And it worked pretty well on the first one. Another good deal or idea, excuse me, is to take. I ran out of material, so I went to Double S Steel yesterday and bought some non-salvage pickets. They're nice and straight, so I just laid them down inside the pickets I'd already put together, and I'm just lining them up on the bottom, and then up here on top I'm just going to mark them straight along with the ones that I've already got marked. That way I don't have to go through and mark each one of them for a cut. I can just do them all at once. That saves me a little bit of time here. Okay, after all of the bottom parts are welded, then I use these jigs, which are at 4-inch spacings. I used a saw to make my notches that are just wide enough for these for my steel post, and that way I can go all the way up through and line them all up together as one unit. And I basically start with a center clamp and work all of them in. It's kind of you got to use a mallet to kind of move them around. Don't tighten it too much at first. Just tighten it a little bit, move them around, tighten it a little bit, move them around. Eventually you get all of them into place. My stringer wasn't quite long enough for this 9-foot gate, but it's an 8-foot piece. But basically I can do 8 foot at once, and then the other 2 are no problem. The idea is to get all of them at 4 inches exactly, all the way up through the entire spacing on the gate, so that you don't have some that are 3.5 to, and then you know, that just would look terrible. So you've just got to make sure that it's 4-inch spacing all the way up, especially with this bendy stock here. It's really complicated when you get this stuff. It was like half the price of this other material that I bought yesterday. I'm not sure. I think I'd probably, if I had to do it over again, I'd buy the straight stuff. It'd be $200 versus $100 or $99 or $92, something like that. But still, in the big scheme of things, I would have had less wasted material and a lot less headache. So in a way it was about I don't know, time-wise, if you're trying to keep your time budget, make sure you just go ahead and buy the new stock. Hope this helps. These jigs are great though. Just they're worth the time and energy it takes to cut them out. This is set up for it's all clamped down. At this point I can and will tack all of these on this part, okay, because I've got them basically lined up between the bottom and this lower rung. And then I'll work my way up to this one, okay, and then I will change, but as I do that I will move my jig up to make sure that the spacing stays the same as I go to this second weld. This one's a little bit different because it's, as you can see, diagonal across.